That night, the lights of Seoul twinkled like stars falling to earth. Behind the soundproof walls of an exclusive studio, one name once again held fans' breath: Kim Taehyung. The figure known to the world as V of BTS seemed immersed in a silence that was actually noisy with the beat of creativity. In the room, there was no stage cheers, no stadium roar. Only the tinkling of the piano, the whisper of melodies, and the long breaths of an artist shaping his musical destiny. Taehyung sat back, large headphones covering his ears, his eyes closed as if conversing with another world. In front of him, the monitor screen displayed unfinished track after track. The song he was working on was no ordinary song. This was the title track for a project titled ARIRANG, Swim, a title that sounds simple but holds deep symbolism. ARIRANG, a name that recalls the roots of Korean culture, to folk songs filled with longing and struggle. But this time, ARIRANG presented itself in a modern, emotional, and bold way. The atmosphere in the studio felt tense yet warm. On the other side of the room sat Tyler Spry, a producer known for his emotional touch in alternative pop arrangements. He was the man behind Swim, the song that now serves as the heart of the project. Tyler stared intently at the screen, his fingers occasionally tapping the table to the beat being played back. Every detail was scrutinized. Every note was tested, because they knew this wasn't just a release. It was a statement. Near the mixing console stood James Eshin, the songwriter who had crafted the lyrics for Swim with raw, poetic honesty. James seemed to be in deep discussion with Taehyung. At times, their voices rose, not from conflict, but from passion. They dissected a sentence, changed a word, repeated a phrase until it felt right. Because Taehyung wasn't the type of artist to simply sing a song. He wanted to feel every syllable, as if the lyrics were part of his own breath. When recording began, the atmosphere changed drastically. The lights were dimmed. Only a small glow illuminated the vocal booth. Taehyung stood straight in front of the microphone, his eyes closed, one hand holding his headphones, the other hanging limply but ready to grasp the air. "Take one," came a voice from behind the glass. The first note came out slow, deep, mysterious. His voice didn't explode. It flowed, like someone truly swimming in a sea of emotions. That's where the meaning of Swim really came into focus. This song wasn't about water. It wasn't about physical movement. It was about staying afloat on the waves of life. About not drowning when the world felt too heavy. Tyler paused the recording. Again, but this time more fragile in the pre-chorus, he said softly. Taehyung nodded without protest. He knew perfection was born of repetition. The second take began. This time his voice cracked slightly at the end of the sentence. It wasn't a technical glitch, it was emotion. James smiled softly. "That's it," he whispered. The clock ticked. Midnight passed unnoticed. Cold coffee piled up on the corner of the table. Occasional chuckles erupted as they listened to Taehyung's unexpected vocal improvisations. Beneath the creative tension, a cheerful energy filled the room. Taehyung even joked, imitating an exaggerated version of one of the song lines until Tyler burst out laughing. These light-hearted moments provided a welcome balance to the immense pressure they were under. But behind that smile, there was a deep awareness. Taehyung knew every solo project he made would always be compared. He carried a big name. He carried the expectations of millions. But that night, he didn't seem to be thinking about charts or trending topics. He just wanted to be honest. He wanted this song to feel like him, without a mask, without a grand stage. ARIRANG, Swim, seemed to be a bridge between the past and the future. The elements of tradition weren't presented literally, but felt in the melancholy nuances flowing through the chord progression. There was a kind of inexplicable longing. Longing for home. Longing for a version of himself that had been lost. And that's where Taehyung shone brightest, when he sang about that longing as if it were his own. The mixing process was intense. Tyler replayed the chorus over and over. The drums were deepened, the bass was softened, An ambience was added so that Taehyung's vocals felt like they were resonating in a vast space. "We want the listener to feel like they're floating," Tyler said solemnly. And indeed, when the near-final version was played, the room felt like it had transformed into an ocean. Taehyung's voice floated, yet still had weight. James then suggested a small change to the bridge. "How about we put a sentence in Korean?" he asked. Taehyung paused for a moment, then nodded slowly. He wrote something on his phone, read it aloud, and then tried to sing it. There was a moment of silence. It was simple, but it hit like a tidal wave. Tyler looked at James. They knew it was the golden moment. Laughter erupted again after that. The tension melted. Taehyung leaned back on the couch, staring up at the dark studio ceiling. There was satisfaction on his face, but also a hunger for perfection. He stood up again, asking for one more take. "Just one more," he said. And as always, the last take turned out to be the best. Morning crept through the gap in the curtains. The city was waking, as they had just closed a long chapter of the night. The file was saved. The demo version was labeled tentatively final. Tyler and James gave each other a slow high five. Taehyung smiled broadly, a smile rarely seen on a big stage, the smile of a creator's satisfaction. But the journey wasn't over. The song would still go through mastering, visual concept discussions, and finally meet the world. But one thing was certain, that night wasn't just another recording session. It was a small battle against doubt. It was a journey of self-diving. Taehyung stepped out of the studio with a black hoodie over his head. The morning air was chilly, but his face was warm with excitement. He glanced back, watching the studio door slowly close. Behind it, there remained an invisible trail of hard work, laughter, and tears. ARIRANG, Swim wasn't just a song. It was a symbol that an artist can return to their roots without losing the courage to experiment. A symbol that swimming in the ocean of the global music industry requires deep breaths, courage, and honesty. And if that night was any indication, the world might soon witness a new chapter in Kim Taehyung's musical journey. A chapter that wasn't just tense and dramatic, but also joyful and hopeful. Because amidst the rising waves, there are always moments when one chooses not to drown, but to swim further, deeper, and bolder than ever before.